Change has come. It's at the door. Everything that was true isn't true anymore. In our hands is a broken crown, and the wars that we lose mean freedom now. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Let's dance into battle, start a revolution, turn the heartbreak into evolution. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, from the ashes. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Keep marching on. 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 Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Every ending is a chance. Every ending is a chance to begin again.
The plan for living life, playing the game of life. Rules to the game of life. You will receive a body. You will learn lessons. There are no mistakes, only lessons. A lesson will be repeated until it is learned. Learning lessons does not end. There is no better than here. Others are merely mirrors of you. What you make of your life is up to you. Life is exactly what you think it is. Your answers lie inside you. You will forget all of this. You can remember it whenever you want. Mastering ourselves, being our best selves. My power, my control. Mind, body, soul, which is thoughts, wills, the things you say, and emotions. Principles: learn, grow, teach, help. Foundation: love, health, wealth, happiness. Rules: respectful, safe, responsible. Being a champion, one day at a time. Having accountability, accept responsibility for actions and performance. Culture, living our values, mastering ourselves, body, mind, soul. Excellence, being our best selves by efficiency and productivity. Leveling up in life, showing up for yourself, focus on yourself, core values, decisions, goals, and behavior. Live by, no excuses, take ownership, empower yourself to do better and be more for you. Many are here to help us be the best version of ourselves through learning and development. 2, I'm willing to do the work and you are willing to do the work. The first step to empowering you is creating a structure that helps you eliminate excuses through clarity of responsibility and process. Being a champion to create winning is by having a desire to be the best version of yourself and empowering you to do so daily. Having a better world that is a champion world is that it takes all of us. Everything is energy, vibration, and frequency, which is inside of us all and all around us. What is your energy? Low vibration or high vibration? Low vibration. Empathy, victim, helplessness, blame, negative self-talk, worry, hatred, anger, fear. High vibration. Hopefulness, courage, acceptance, happiness, self-love, gratitude, positive self-talk, trust, knowledge, abundance, forgiveness, unconditional love. Mastering ourselves. Lust, intense desire or craving, greed, excessive selfish desire. Gluttony, excessive consumption. Pride, excessive self-importance. Sloth, laziness, empathy. Envy, desiring what someone else has. Wrath, extreme anger. The unseen laws, spiritual laws you must respect. Core unseen laws. Law of reciprocity, which what you send out, energy, thoughts, actions, returns amplified. Law of authority. Spirits only respect those who know who they are. If you're confused, they dominate. Law of resonance. You attract what matches your vibration. Purity equals clear outcomes. Law of timing. Some doors open only in divine timing. Forcing it equals punishment or delay. Law of spiritual debt. Every lie, scam, or shortcut leaves a karmic invoice until it's paid by pain or repentance. It blocks flow. Law of access. Sharing sacred things with unworthy people gives dark forces access to you. Guard your spiritual intimacy. Law of sacred exchange. Don't ask for something from spirit world without giving something. Prayers, food, fire, service, truth. Law of hidden eyes. Even when no one is watching, you are seen. All thoughts and deeds echo in the spirit realms. Everyone will get exactly what they choose. 3D earth. Fear, division, anger, control, hate, AI. 5D earth. Love, unity, peace, freedom, healing, consciousness. This is the great awakening. Though you may hold your sword in a shaky hand, I see the demons you are slaying. Carry on, warrior. You are stronger than you realize. Welcome, I'm Alisha Quinn, and today we are going to be talking about demons thought forms. Are demons just our thought forms that we've created? kind of a interesting perspective for sure. But, we are here to wake up and we are here to ascend. We are here to truly learn of our power that we do have within us to create a beautiful world. And that's what I'm here for. So, as I go through this awakening journey and I'm in the church and they really do promote this that demons do not exist anymore or whatever. Which is kind of interesting, especially as you awaken to things and it looks like all these demons are ruling the world, right? Doing all kinds of very satanic, interesting things, right? So it really makes you question, about demons and if the church is truly correct about it. And, as I've gone through and come to really this point that everything that's within me, comes out, right? So, I'm part of creating this, and everyone else is a part of creating reality and things too, that, it comes to really make you question that, see, if in the beginning everything was void, right? And then we start creating the things that we've created by our thoughts and our emotions, the things we say and talk about, then it comes to really question, are we the ones who have created the demons? And when you get into vibration and frequency and fear, right? So you have this thought of fear, someone hurting you, right? And then that person comes in and does exactly what you were afraid of happening to you. So, really makes me wonder and question that, are we the ones who have created the demons as well? If we are the divine spirit, God itself, experiencing this journey, then am I a part of creating my own demons, right? So it really makes me question those things. I truly do not take the church's position that demons do not exist. I have really come to that everything is within us and we create our realities and experiences. So it is all us creating our realities and experiences. So there are some things that, I've never experienced in this lifetime or dealt with that others have. And that's because it's all within us. And that's truly what I've come to, is that, yeah, you wake up and you have these figures in your room who's creating that reality and that experience. That person. I've never woken up to something like that, and that's really, the conscious level of, that is someone's experience. Now, I had people follow me across state lines, right? Now, that was my reality and that was my experience. See, some people have alien abductions, right? And so for me, coming to this level of consciousness that we create our reality and our experiences by our thoughts, by our emotions, by the things we say and talk about, our belief system, right? That it happens, that it is whoever's experience. It doesn't mean that everyone is experiencing the same thing because not everyone has the same thoughts and the same emotions and the same things they're talking about, their same perspective, same beliefs. And that's what I've really truly come to find is that it's all within us. And the things that we look at as well and listen to. I mean, we could go down a deep, dark road into all kinds of things that people have created with their thoughts, you know, even fictional stories and books. And when you get to the level of quantum, that is very liquid, and that every thought, idea, you know, every vision and projection that you have is creating something, makes you really, you know, question the things that you're looking at, the things that you're reading, and what you want to put in your mind of ideas of things, and that you want to be a part of creating. And so we're going to go ahead and take a look at a few little things of what it says about demons and thought forms and stuff, and just get some other ideas and perspectives of it. So we're going to go ahead and take a look here. All right, so this is from a Michael Teachings. So let's take a look and see what it says about thought forms and dark entities. The truth about spiritual attachment and demonic spirit. The removal of thought forms and dark entities, either as spiritual parasites, entity attachments, or demonic possession, has been advocated and lampooned in spiritual circles for years. Some argue that a belief in evil spirits is a product of mental illness and should be treated by medical professionals. Others maintain that entity removal is a legitimate practice and that the existence of pathogens in the world, those microbial killers responsible for an untold loss of life before the invention of the microscope, perfectly mirror the existence of parasitic creatures in the spiritual world. This article attempts to highlight the most common occurrences of negative energy, what they are, and how they can be removed. The invisible creatures charted here may defy credulity for some, and an open mind may be needed to navigate the rougher waters of these concepts. Thought forms and spiritual parasites. According to some psychic practitioners, negative thoughts, particularly those with emotional residue bound to them, can coalesce over time into thought forms that exist as tiny yet distracting parts of self in the mind. Thought forms are energetic patterns of emotion and singular intention or desire. Like parasitic worms, they entangle themselves into the mental circulatory of a person, either the subconscious or the aura, and feed off the negative thoughts and emotions that originally spun them. Entirely self-created, these thought parasites, although they are not conscious, lure the mind into having more thoughts of the same kind, eventually forging a mental addiction. Negative thought forms also exist outside the body form and survive as spiritual parasites, attaching to unsuspecting humans who are a vibrational match with the energy. These thought forms come from other people who have either died or released them through spiritual cleansing, and the mental constructs linger in the etheric regions that permeate all physical existence, waiting for a host. Once they attach to a human, they induce thoughts in their host that feed their energetic vibration. If the thought form was created through anger, for instance, the human sustains the spiritual parasite by habitually feeling emotions of anger. A thought form of grief, available in plentiful supply at most hospitals and nursing homes, would attach to someone feeling tremendous sorrow, someone unable to let go of a past loved one, for example, may be negatively influenced by a parasitic thought form feeding off their grief. Psychics and spiritual healers may see these parasites as a variety of creatures such as black, red, or orange colored larvae, insects, spiders, or multi-tentacled creatures. The symbolism of the attachments may vary, but they are always perceived as a grotesque light, alerting the psychic that these dark entities do not belong. Michael's comments. Thought forms do exist and can become a source of havoc for incarnating souls unable to control the intensity and emotional amplification of their thoughts and desires. Thought forms are created when a particular thought is amplified over what is akin to a broadcast speaker in the mind, where the desire behind a thought becomes so strong and prolonged that the energy coalesces into a pattern that becomes energetically animated. In a crude way, the thought desire is given life, at least in an electromagnetic sense, and the thought form sustains itself by feeding off the thoughts and feelings of a similar vibrational intention. Thought forms typically manifest as behaviors, mental obsessions, or outright addictions. The best way to sever the parasitic connection is to stop feeding the thought form negative energies that sustain it. Thought forms cut off from their food supply eventually dissolve energetically, but like a dried weed in a garden, they leave dormant seeds that can regenerate if the pattern that spun the first thought form should return. The parasites you describe are not real in the manner depicted. What psychics typically see are trapped areas of energy, blockages, if you will, that clog the flow of energy through the spiritual body, similar to the deposits of plaque and arteries that lead to arteriosclerosis. The negative connotations of these energetic impediments are often the result of emotional scarring and other wounds, both physical and spiritual, that either occur during the present lifetime or in past lives. These blockages may be self-cleared or reopened through the assistance of a spiritual healer. Although it is important to point out that while a psychic may do a temporary fix, the condition will return if the underlying issue behind the blockage is not addressed. Once again, it is not dissimilar to the work of a heart surgeon does to repair a blocked artery, and the lifestyle that contributed to the ailment is not improved. The blockage may return. Having a spiritual healer identify the source of the energetic block and coupling that with guided imagery during the meditative session or spiritual journey may help reveal the root of the negative impediment, which is the best remedy for removing the problem permanently. Spiritual attachments. Discarnate humans. Discarnate humans are often recently deceased and may not either enter the astral because either they do not know they are dead or because the life they previously led lowered their vibration to such a degree that they have become too dense to enter a higher spiritual realm. Essentially, earthbound, the etheric plane that coexist with the physical, these wandering souls may try to attach themselves to the body of a living person, either hoping to cling to the life force that has become dormant in them or to satisfy old physical cravings and addictions. The mark of a spiritual attachment is that a parasitic relationship develops where the urges and vices of the discarnate human influence the cravings of the host, creating behavior that is out of character for the person. If the disincarnate human was a risk taker or a drug addict, for example, the host may begin to mimic that behavior, much to the horror of friends and family. Malicious discarnates from the astral. A frequent compliant encountered in spiritual communities is that malicious discarnates or beings from the astral are effing with them. This might be possible if the soul is an earthbound denizen of the etheric plane, but from the astral, certain problems arise. This says messages from Michael. Once the physical plane is left behind, there is very little fear experienced by the fragments, and that permits the fragments to perceive essence without trappings. That telling remark from Michael reveals quite a bit. The astral plane is restorative and filled with light. Yes, a cynic might refer to it as a place of so-called happy talk, but the idea of happy talk is really just a sign that love permeates everything from that perspective. When you depart from the body and enter the astral, the overleaves, the chief features, and the instinctive centering are all stripped away. In other words, for the most part, the negative aspects of the ego are gone. Spirits, still earthbound, however, retain a potential for negative energy. Call it a residual that clings to them, like a diseased aura that follows them around until they raise their vibration enough to penetrate the astral. As long as these tortured souls remain connected to the physical plane, the law of opposites still applies, and they remain trapped until they pull themselves out of their negative, self-inflicting morass. Thus, dark entities can exist in the etheric plane, which is sometimes mistakenly referred to as the lower astral. We know the etheric is a real thing due to near-death experiences where people have reported hovering over their bodies and so on. Neighborhoods and small settlements can be found on the etheric, consisting of lost or confused souls. But the etheric is not the astral that we traditionally recognize. That is a misunderstanding. The astral is mostly devoid of false personalities or the ego, which is strictly a physical plane experience and a byproduct of the body. In other words, astral beings are likely not effing with you, and any earthbound souls you encounter would have a tough time of it. mostly struggling to get your attention. Etheric versus astral. In terms of defining the terminology, and it should be mentioned that the turn of the century Theosophists often called the etheric plane the lower astral, but meant the etheric and used both terms interchangeably. You can find such examples in the original books from Blavatsky, Leadbeater, etc. These ambiguity in terminology caused the confusion we now have in the present. The long and short of it, however, is that eventually the term lower astral was employed in modern day usage to denote that area closet to physical matter, the etheric layer, where you occasionally find addicts or souls so obsessed with physical plane vices that they desperately cling to the earthly trappings they once knew and shun what they consider the siren calls from the astral. Does this mean that all astral fragments are the embodiment of love and light? No, it can't be that black and white. After all, based on what we understand, astral fragments still have emotions, and one would venture they can feel angry, sad, or frustrated like the rest of us. They still have likes, dislikes, and personal preferences, but these things are more transparent on the astral. Communication is telepathic. If you dislike someone, there's no hiding it, it's known. So these issues are dealt with rather quickly. Harboring feelings of ill will or malice can't fester as they do on the physical. Thus, any evil intentions are also readily apparent and diffused. That doesn't mean there's no negativity in the afterlife, but without the body to focus and escalate it to a fever pitch, it's not the same emotion experienced on the physical. It doesn't come with the unsettling elements of insanity that provokes physical beings to commit acts of violence. Without the distorting elements of false personality and the aggressive inclinations of the human body, disagreements and other areas of contention are more easily addressed. There is not as much misunderstanding or fuel for the fire. The 7 planes of existence. Here's the bigger picture. The 7 planes of existence form a subset which is broken into 2 groups of 3 separated by a bridge between the duo. The Akashic records, the causal plane, the astral, and the physical are part of a triad. The astral could be thought of as the positive pole, the physical, the negative, and the causal as the third influence. The midway or the neutral position. It represents the triadic law of 3 at work. Fear dominates the physical plane where the law of opposites prevails. The emotional ecstasy of love is the law of the astral, and the causal acts as an intermediary triangulated in a position of truth to administer teaching and wisdom to the other parts of the triad, the physical and the astral. The 3 higher planes, vibrationally above the Akashic records, mental, Masonic, and Buddhic, are configured in a similar way, but without the distortions of fear found in the physical. While the structure looks like another polarity, the law of opposites only operates in the physical plane. The triadic nature, though, reinforces the synthesis that bounds these three realms together. Michael once told me the basic problem with negative astral beings that supposedly influence these on the physical would be in the transmission. For people that hold a loving vessel, they would simply slough off any attempts from a negative entity on the astral. Apparently, a consciously aware person has a spiritual immune system that prevents a viral exchange of this kind. Of course, departed loved ones can always connect with you due to a pre-established pathway to the heart. Interestingly, a negative person, someone deeply entrenched in false personality, cannot be reached, period. Essence can't reach them. Their guides can't reach them. And negative entities from the astral, if they existed, can't reach them either. The person is too cut off and too shut down to receive any influence from spirit. They are operating on autopilot and lost in the petty desires and machinations of false personality. It can be an easy way out to pass the buck this way, to blame discarnates for our reckless loss of inhabitations, or suggest we are victims to the malevolent intentions of evil spirits. But this bears too much similarity to biblical belief systems. A glaring example is mankind's refusal to take responsibility for their own actions. In the past, the devil was the reliable scapegoat for the misbehavior of others. There was no self-inquiry. The blame was passed on to someone else. That's a chief future. In modern New Age circles, we're doing the same thing. This time, evil discarnates are effing with us. It's a preposterous conclusion, but we've believed it for thousands of years now. We will have one foot in the Stone Age. To break the chains that these antiquated religious relics that have distorted your perceptions till you only see the division and are blind to the greater unity. So often we want answers to our questions, but please reverse the syntax and start questioning the answers. You might find it liberating. Student, but it is so clear there is great evil in the world and always has been. Answer, that's the nature of the physical plane. It's a place of duality, the law of opposites, positive and negative poles, false personality versus true personality. That's a major life lesson. It's also a challenge you can't get in the higher planes. Duality doesn't exist on the astral. Distortion or illusion is stripped away. Student, channels that don't see the great evil in the spirit world are just incompetent or inferior in their abilities or have strong biases. Evil is all around us. Answer, that's always possible, but look at how such charges devolve into a typical human behavior pattern. Our insistence to be right sears us to find personal defects in those that stand in the way of our beliefs. In this case, certain channels have biases. In other instances, the channel must be highly arrogant. And we've also seen people say that so-and-so is only channeling Michael from the astral, hence they are unreliable. Essentially, we look for ways to diminish the value of others in order to bolster our own claims or sense of importance. That doesn't make for a sound argument. A spiritual teaching shouldn't create divisions or promote fear. It teaches love and compassion, and in so doing, expands self-awareness. Demonic possession. Demonic possession especially in the clinical fields, has long been associated with mental illness. A psychiatrist reported in the Washington Post, however, that his diagnosis of patients with mental illness has also led him to causes that he deemed demonic possession. One patient's abilities, while allegedly possessed, veered into the paranormal, which included knowing things she could not have known about the people that came into her room and speaking multiple languages such as Latin. Although the psychiatrist conceded that cases of demonic possession are rare, the gap between the paranormal and science could be getting smaller. Michael's comments: spiritual attachments to the aura of an incarnate soul are typically awkward and clumsy. The discarnate soul being, who is often confused or lost, may cling to another in hopes of lowering its vibrations to the density of the physical. The reasons are largely unimportant. The outcome, however, is predictable. Most attempts are sloughed off by the incarnate soul unconsciously. When a soul is incarnating into a physical body, there exists an oil and water effect where it is difficult for an intruding being to attach to the soul of another. Most attachments are through permission, either conscious or in a pre-incarnational agreement. Spiritual attachment of malevolent intent is then a rare occurrence. Likely prey are those with a mental illness who give permission to an invading entity without cognitive understanding of the ramifications. So-called demonic entities are just incarnate souls who have made a career out of luring highly impressionable or mentally unstable individuals into permitting a spiritual cohabitation. These dark entities rarely manifest in ways commonly depicted in popular movies and are more of a nuisance than anything else. Negative alter egos. A more common and vexing intrusion occurs in the human psyche, frequently misunderstood and wrongly associated with demonic spirits. This invasion involves the presence of negative parts of self generated by the ego or false personality, similar to thought forms but with cognitive abilities. These parts of self are negative alter egos. They wreak havoc in personalities who are ungrounded spiritually and whom have little access to their true personality or higher self. Negative alter egos can take over a personality, feeding off the chief features and negative poles, and specializing in destructive emotions such as anger, hate, lust, and others. A total breakdown of sanity awaits a personality unable to reclaim a connection to their true self. The creation of a false self generally occurs when all access to love is denied for a prolonged period, creating a distorted set of values perpetuated by negative emotions and a diseased mind. In short, the ego or false personality can create several distorted parts of itself, all amplified in negativity due to a lack of connection with essence. Getting rid of negative energy and attachments. Many practitioners maintain that the best way to avoid negative attachments is to boost the spiritual immune system through a positive outlook, along with personal work to consistently project the authentic self. Attachments are like pathogens, and a healthy spiritual immune system can ward off infection. The key is to raise the spiritual vibrations so that they are not a vibrational match with the pathogen or parasite. Michael's comments. Treatment for the symptoms of negative energies and attachments are surprisingly similar to the treatment used on obsessive compulsive disorder or OCD. In almost all cases, resisting the intruding thoughts and associated fears only makes them worse. If, for example, you wrongly believe the air you breathe contains poisonous gas, you may try to hold your breath. That solution is ultimately futile. However, one must obviously breathe to stay alive, and attempts otherwise only increases the urgency of needing that next breath. The preoccupation with not breathing greatly intensifies the emotional distress of the predicament. A better solution is to acknowledge the unwanted thought or physical sensation for what it is. Recognize that this mental tic, so to speak, will only grow stronger if you grant it the power to do so. Acknowledge the mental intrusion when it occurs, but do not attempt to engage or fight with it. Allow the episode to pass freely without impedance. It will pass. The first few attempts with this technique may induce some stress, but each time the pattern is broken, the episodes grow further apart till eventually they cease to intrude. If any episodes should return, once again, acknowledge the symptoms for what they are and become neutral to them, but do not resist them. In fact, ignore them. Spiritual attachments hate to be ignored and will often lose interest in the host. Well, I thought that shared a lot of interesting information. A lot of interesting information. So, take what you can from it and learn and grow. That's all I'm doing here, is just sharing that. And so we're going to go ahead and take a look at one more thing, which is light codes for demons being thought forms. Light codes. Astral realms, thought forms, and demons. Have you experienced a spiritual awakening and journeyed with your light body to other realities? Have you become conscious and aware that you are dreaming when you are dreaming? Or has your third eye being activated through an amazing DMT experience where you were interacting with machine elves or mushroom deities? If you have, then you may be well aware of astral beings and the forces of nature that shape the universe beyond physical reality. In this article, you will discover the differences between thought forms, shadow, parasites, and demons, and how you can be free of them forever. The astral realms are not non-physical realities which run parallel to and influence our own realities. Astral realms that reflect events on the earth have a higher density than those in the dimensions further away. There is a long history of ancient knowledge about the influence of astral entities on humanity as well as other spiritual beings and extraterrestrial entities, including gods and ancient astronauts. Thought words and actions of human beings and other creatures all affect the energy on and around the earth. The nearby earthbound astral realms include shadow realities from wars or from collective emotional trauma. Astral subrealities are generated and reinforced by a common worldview of many people resonating with that frequency. This may also occur through the collective thoughts of millions of people engaging in the stories of movies or computer games. Astral realms are fluid realities which may ethorically stimulate physics but lack the grounding density of worlds like Earth. If you could see these beings, they would appear ghost-like, jelly-like, pop up as luminous elemental mask, or appear distorted so they look demonic or monstrous in appearance. Astral pockets are created that are fourth dimensional pockets of unstable parallel shadow realms. In each of these, time is distorted and fantasy or memory can feel real and dreamlike at the same time. These regions are unstable and can become dangerous and cause time slips, reoccurring dreams and visions, and they can even manifest ghosts. Beyond the astral realms are other realities, each with its different mix of substances, including physical, etheric, astral, and spiritual matter and energy. Each realm or local has a range of influence around itself. Being in many realms can influence realms of lower dimensional or density. When you consciously connect and interact with a pure land or heaven, all you need to do is ask for our blessings and healing, and you will receive it. What are demons? Demons are the three types: inner, outer, and natural. You have your inner demons, which keep you limited 3D awareness and help you get trapped in continuous rebirth with amnesia. The main internal demons are anger, attachment, pride, jealousy, and ignorance of the true nature of reality. These are the demons that you leave behind every day when you raise your consciousness and engage in spiritual meditation, energy healing, and high vibe living. Outer demons, or moras, include human beings that are possessed by spiritual entities. These may be beings that you cannot normally see, but which influence human history, culture, conflict, and governance. Historically, these have included the reptilian bloodlines, the Greys, and the Anunnaki. Note that due to biblical era events, the demons of hell remain in hell, and it is only the idea of them which affects us. Also, Divaputra Mara that plagued the Buddha just before enlightenment with visions of intense pleasure and suffering is a powerful entity from a higher vibration, Loka, a god realm, that will test spiritual practitioners to their limits and emanate as their greatest fears as if they are real. Nature entities or nature spirits are mostly neutral beings of these types. Daemons, elements, ghost-like entities, devas, glowing angelic beings, and asuras, powerful spirits, ancestors, demigods, power animals. These are all responsible for the running and stability of the natural world and habitats. Devas are from the angelic lines and return to God if their habitat is destroyed. Daemons and asuras include nature spirits that work closely with elemental spirits such as dryads, Silaphs, undines, and salamanders. When human beings destroy habitats, nature spirits that are limited to their range of operation may become trapped in human environments. These can cause problems, and some even want to seek out revenge on those who destroyed their land and or environment. Life and reality around you are a hybrid of everything that you experience. You are enmeshed in a vast, complex feedback network with every other living being. Waves of thoughts interact and interfere, and thought forms and sub realms develop where there is a focus on energy, such as a war on COVID. So watch what you think, be aware of what you say, and do things for the greater good of the community and environment. Then your energy ascends, your third eye opens, you spiritually awaken as your DNA is activated, and your heart opens with unconditional love for all beings, living beings. What are thought forms? Thought forms are temporary, non-physical entities that are created by your imagination. Your thoughts and your emotions, they exist around you at the etheric level of reality and are imbued with astral energies that resonate with the emotions that went into them. Your thoughts and emotions transform energy into action through focus and intent. Whatever you think with your mind will appear before you. With energy, emotion, and focus, thought forms may appear that persist and become more powerful when they are fed with more emotions and intentions. Mundane thought forms are energies that hang around your environment. They lack any spirit, mind, or body, and most of them vanish into the etheric. If your thoughts and emotions are very powerful, such as anger or jealousy, your thought forms can become free entities. They will also gain a self-preservation instinct. This kind of artificial intelligence allows them to plague you and induce more of the same thoughts and feelings from you and anyone around you to power them up. Thought forms can wreak havoc with you and other people around you. They can even communicate with lower astral realms and open portals to pocket realities. These are also known as astral sub-realms. These beings are also called shadow parasites, and they affect your physical body, etheric energy field, and your light body. Thought forms are easily cleared by doing an energetic cleanse of your environment regularly, several times each day. Pump light and love into your environment with the help of your guides and angels from fifth density and above. This will also clear any astral debris that is left behind. Your soul and your thought forms are made of astral and etheric energies. Your soul is a thought form that was created by spirit before your birth. This allows spirit to interface with your body and the world and feed back your life experiences to spirit. The universal demiurge was created prior to the physical universe. The demiurge is a thought form imagined by the creator. This runs like a vast computer program generating the physical universe as you see and experience it. The demiurge's purpose is to project, shape, and operate the universe. It is also true that temporary thought forms are instances of the demiurge. Demons, thought forms, and shadow parasites. Shadow parasites come from physical realms and non-physical shadow realms. Shadow parasites may be sent by powerful negative entities that want to control and influence people on Earth. These beings include sorcerers and dark magicians, as well as other realms and beings from other worlds too. Additionally, the thought forms you create become shadow parasites if they learn how to feed off your energy or the energy of other people or creatures. Your demons may also be pissed off nature spirits who want revenge on the beings who have destroyed their habitats, such as dryads with no forest or sufis who detest the polluted air. When you lie down at night in the dark before sleeping, you may pick up an element mask checking you out or the bright flash of a cosmic ray on your retina. Your physical body, your aura, and your light body are sensitive to physical and non-physical influences. Demons can influence the probability of everyday events and trigger you more until you react. They may do this through the words and actions of other people that they influence. This constant grinding effect will infect your brain neurons, your DNA, your energy body, and keep your third eye closed. When you are positive, such as bathing in sea of pure love, you will experience degrees of spiritual awakening, third eye activations, and even a real feeling of ascension. When you are negative, these influences can drain you of your energy and block your spiritual awakening and remembrance of ancient knowledge. Like a vampire or a succubus or incubus, Thought forms can make you think or feel in such a way. This is so they can feed off your energy. This is because you are emanating energy in frequency bands which resonate with those entities. To stop them feeding on you, stop thinking and raise your vibration with meditation, energy healing, and ascension tools. A good start is to clean up your life and your environment and use protective light, love, and geometry. Thought forms can influence you, but they lack the power to possess you. They are not demons, but can be used as the tools of demons in a similar way to show shadow parasites are used. They will grow stronger and become more sentient if you let them continually feed on thought trains and emotional roller coasters. Why was humanity quarantined? Evolving human beings are contagious, and the world is in a protective bubble to protect the earth from external interference and other beings from human toxicity. Human beings are creator beings with the power to create anything and manifest it into reality. It is the viruses and infections of our thoughts and actions that pollute the universe. Extraterrestrial and interdimensional beings may use shields and filters to filter out energetic toxins that exist around human beings, cities, and the sites of major disasters and wars. Physical war, pollution, and suffering are all symptoms of the general hurting of the masses by a few who worship war, chaos, and destruction. These are human beings influenced by or possessed by their inner and outer demons. There are also energetic ascended masters in human bodies that guide and nurture humanity to a more enlightened truth. They will lead you to realize to a deeper level of your spiritual awakening and ascension. There are others who are incarnated on earth through countless rebirths, and those on earth for specific reasons. Every living being on earth enters the same way and faces the risk of being trapped in the incarnated wheel of life. We will see through this importance veil through spiritual practice, clear insight, clean living, and with the guidance and internal realizations. When you dream, you experience what you imagine. When you die, your last thought of death manifests a new reality for your soul. You could enter a calm existence or one that is torturous and repeats. Our heavens and hells are generated by our minds and emotions. The effects on the physical is lowered to protect the world. It takes a lot of focus to meditate clearly enough to influence reality and manifest divinity. Your emotions affect your reality and your thoughts affect your DNA. Science fiction movies and TV series like Doctor Who illustrate the use of blood type and DNA manipulation to control people. Emotions affect your health, and if the world is more positive, then you would feel this too. You can use the power of thought and intention to activate and heal your DNA, and to also repair your telomeres to slow down aging. And those in control deem it that they ignite heaven or hell on earth. Human beings are meaning-making machines which are easily influenced by the media, peers, and addictions. Many fields and veils of energy are used to keep people under control and ignorant of truth. Watch what you think and what the scientists are doing. It is those that pay them who have the real power. This was clearly seen in the light of the COVID pandemic and the drug companies paid by governments who developed the various vaccines. Living your life responsibly. The world is like a bubble where you affect reality by physical interaction and words that inspire others to do so. Positive thoughts, feelings, and actions elevate your consciousness and resonate with higher frequencies from divine realms and source. As you awaken and evolve, Your outlook on life will become pure, and your dreams of love and oneness will become realized. As you spiritually awaken, evolve, and ascend, you are also more in alignment with positive realms. Only let in positive emotions like love and compassion and information for the highest good. Tune out the noise of life and dissolve into emptiness everything that you are willing to let go. This is what Buddha really meant by following the middle way between the extremes of order and chaos. You avoid the pitfalls of engaging in the extremes of rigid order and being a sheeple who is also superstitious and fearful. You also avoid the chaos of destruction and debauchery. You don't go cartel Blanche and live the life of a Riley or become like Lucifer. The midway is the hardest path, and it is the only one that works. It is the path of self-discovery, practicing what you preach, being conscious, self-aware, and responsible for actions of body, speech, and mind. It is the watching your thoughts and feelings and choosing to not be tempted by distractions and addictions. It is loving the process and not resisting their challenges, and taking the initiations offered to you by the agencies of the universe. You can also join Infinity, which is free 7 days, which includes the powerful transformational meditation library in the galaxy to reach deeper levels of spiritual awakening and accelerate your voyage toward ascension. Infinity also contains many tools to access ancient knowledge and raise your vibration. It includes DNA and third eye activations, light language transmission, and spiritual workshops. Well, those gave a whole lot of information. So we all have the room to grow and expand ourselves and our thinking truly. And it really just makes me to want to work on my own energy and heal and overcome those things that I have to overcome. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at a video.
So my understanding of demonic entities this whole time really has been that they are thought forms. You create things in the astral through your thought. This is the reason why we have been in this quarantine for so long. We've been stuck on Earth because they don't want us manifesting all these crazy things in the astral on other planets. So for us to have this ability to manifest but not have any control over what we're manifesting, we create some pretty fucking creepy creatures in the astral. Every time we come up with a new horror movie, right? Like, it could be something as, I don't know, innocuous as a Chucky doll, okay? And there's going to be little Chuckies running around the astral because people manifested. If you see a movie with a serial killer doll trying to kill people, there's going to be little versions of that running around in the astral because this is what people manifest. If you believe in something or even just have a fixation on something, you create it. Absolutely, you create it. The astral is very fluid that way. So we create all kinds of beings in the astral. So I thought about it as a thought form, as a manifestation of thought, right? So if you think about something, you create a version of that somewhere in the astral. So I'm like, why would it be a soul fragment then? So I had the epiphany that demons are soul fragments. And then Zach was yelling, yes, they are. But I haven't really had a chance to ask much more about that. So I'm just curious, what do you guys think in regards to it? Because you said, yes, they are. Demons are, in fact, soul fragments. Does that mean that a piece of you, and I kind of think of it like a splinter in a way? Because it is a very small piece of you that gets split from the whole. If you think about it, everything is source, right? Everything is God. Everything is source. But we are kind of like disassociated sub-personalities of source because we started as source, but then we said, you know what, I'm going to separate myself from source to a degree, just so I don't know that I'm source, so I can have a human experience. So I'll take a little piece of this source, with me as I go. And I'm going to create this place where I manifest my own experience, even though I'm source, right? So I'm choosing this. So does that mean that every time we create a demonic entity, there we go, Allison just said it, that we give a piece of ourself away when we create that entity? Bingo. That's the part that I didn't recognize at first. That's the part that blew my mind on Saturday when I had this epiphany. And I'm like, so they're thought forms and soul fragments? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, holy shit. Does that mean that every big beastie demon out there is connected to a human or some kind of being somewhere? Yeah. I'm like, holy crap.
Well, I thought that was very interesting, thought forms and then a soul fragment, and just letting these entities attach to our energy and these things. And so, disconnecting, disconnecting from that one. But, in the beginning, there's only one. In the end, there can only be one. So, it's up to us to do our inner work, our healing from those things, and to, be the master of ourselves over our thoughts and things. And so it just really makes me want to continue on my path to grow and evolve and to just do that inner work and really master my thoughts, be self-aware, be aware of the things that I'm looking at or those things. I truly always had issues with the horror movies. And I was in fear. I was in this fear. We watched the Freddy Krueger movies, and I was afraid to, take a bath and use the toilet, sometimes, I was like 10 years old. And that really started me in on this fear stuff. And, I came to a point, I think before I was 30 years old, when I watched The Skeleton Key, and I said, I'm done with this crap. And so I really started, where I didn't watch horror movies, psychological thrillers, kind of, and I've never been a big TV person. I did go through like this depression when I was about 20 years old, where I was watching stuff all day long. I watched about 4 hours of soaps and then, other things. I was pretty much, it was like a 3-month thing where I was just watching my television all day, and to where I finally was like, I can't keep doing this. And I, quit watching TV really. But really, that was the only period of time that I've ever felt that like, I really got sucked into the TV, and it really did consume my life at that point in time. And I was depressed, I was depressed by it. So I've always really controlled it, not let it control me so much, even as a child, I didn't watch a lot of television. And so, um, but that kind of went like this. I barely watch anything anymore. Truly, nowadays, I really only watch something if, it's requested by my child to, listen to watch something. And there's some things, I know there was one thing that, I was asked to watch, and I've watched it before, and it's just the behavior in it that is like, I don't want to watch that, you know? And that's the thing of being self-aware and truly coming to this point of self-love that I don't want to watch that, going and watching a little animated movie on basketball or something, I could do that. But I don't want to be watching something that's promoting negative type behavior and other things. And that's the truth. And so I have to, take that power back and just say no, that I'll watch something else. So, so, I really don't watch a lot of stuff, and I've really come to really protecting my mind and just reading books on self-help, how to be, a better person or um, of where I'm at. Even right now, I'm reading a book on, parenting and being more positive as a parent and my influence as a parent. And so that is something that's helping me and on like consciousness and stuff. So there's a lot of good things that we can read and we can look at that, you know, we don't need to be looking at the negative stuff. It's addicting though. And so I understand. It's addicting watching a dramatized show and I've done it, but, you know, I've also changed. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at a few photos. If you realized how powerful your thoughts are, you would never think a negative one again. The person I used to be can never come back because I won't let her. She was naive. She let her emotions dictate her life. She was explosive and reckless. She did the best she could, though, and I'll forever respect her for that. But this new version that I have become came at a price that there is no refunds for. Unimaginable loss, tragedy, pain. The lessons that I had to learn burned the old me alive with no guidance or survival guide. The only thing that was left to do was transform. It feels like a whole lifetime has passed, a whole different time and place. But if you look deep enough into my eyes, you can still see her weeping face. Not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some come to clear the path. Well, I think those said some things that, this version of me did come at a price. And I did live out a lot of my fears and, truly faced myself and those inner demons that I had. And, you know, just keep on, working on myself and taking responsibility and ownership, really. Really, that's what it comes down to. So we're going to go ahead and ask some questions. What are the 5 types of demons? Biblical grouping: evil, unclean spirits, living spirits. Elemental types: air, water, earth, subterranean. Hierarchical rank: principalities, powers. Or roles like seducers, informity, spirits, or those of divination. What are evil eye symptoms? Sudden and unexplained physical ailments, headaches, fatigue, pain, persistent bad luck, financial loss, emotional distress, anxiety, depression, conflict, and sleep disturbances. What are the 7 types of demons? Pride, lust, envy, wrath, gluttony, sloth, and greed, or roles like tempters, oppressors, and sources of disease with figures. So really, my conclusion in all this is to work on myself, to raise my vibration and frequency so those types of demons, entities don't attach to me, to take that ownership, take that responsibility over myself and my life, my thoughts, the things I'm talking about. Um, you know, Complaining or placing blame. Oh, it's so and so's fault that this is happening or whatever. Just learning from it and growing and just, sometimes you got to go through that storm to clear the path. And you do that by ignoring it. Truly, you got to ignore it and just know that you chose to experience it and you chose the path that you're on. And sometimes those paths give us the strength and helps us to transform those things. And that's the truth. So, um, I do 100% believe that demons exist and that they live among us. And sometimes they test us. And sometimes, the thing is that where everything comes back to one, come back to source. And, some of that stuff will just, it's just an energy. It will just kind of evaporate, right? Or, you know, um, they could have a possibility of changing and evolving themselves, you know? So, because it is all part of creation, it is all part of source. So, we are the ones who have to take ownership and responsibility over ourselves about, the things that we're thinking about and including the things that we're looking at. And so we have to take that ownership and responsibility. And I can only do Alisha. That's it. And so just being that influence and just continuing to do my inner work and to move forward and just knowing that everything is a mirror, protecting my energy. I mean, that's a big thing right there is protect your energy. And there's many things that you can use to protect your energy with, crystals and, there's many things that you can do. Even your words, even, clearing out your energetic field with your words. And so, but it is individual and just being self-aware, being cautious of who you're around, and knowing who you are as well. And so, you know, we are the only ones who can deal with what we have to deal with. And we can't deal with the stuff that other people are dealing with. So, if you have something going on, you're the one who has to take responsibility and ownership to deal with it. And so, we all have it within us to do it, to work on our own energy, our own vibration, and make those changes to where it doesn't affect us anymore. Truly. That, the addictions of things, the letting other spirits, take over us to even play those parts for people. And as I've really worked on me and changing me, I've even seen it happen, so, but truly being self-aware and just we're the ones who have to break the cycles of things. Even our own anger of things, our own hate of things, that, we're the ones who have to change those things. It's funny because people will talk a lot about people on the road, right? Oh, they're a bunch of idiots and, all this and that. And, you go out there and you get angry because someone cuts you off, right? And that all produces something. It's all a thought form. Yeah, you're irritated and all these things. And then you come to a point where you do something, you go when maybe you should have waited and you gotta, floor the gas, so you can not get hit, And so and that's where the love and the compassion really comes in at. Well, I guess you were in a hurry. I'll slow down a little bit, right? Because that's what I would want done for me, right? Is, hey, oh, and we all do those kinds of things. And so that's the thing about being self-aware and, really stop blaming others, stop playing the victim game and those things. And, people can stay in those energies and, you know, those entities and that consciousness, those energies will feed off of those people. And so, the best thing I have done is really come to really protect myself and my life. And I'm the only one I'm responsible for. So, we all can learn and grow. And I have plenty more that I can learn and grow from. And, just letting my soul and letting spirit guide me in that direction. It's truly amazing that, I will, sometimes even like how I get books, right? And I mean, there's lots of stuff out here that, I want to learn about, right? To help my consciousness and evolve and things, right? But it's truly amazing that I'll just be somewhere and there's like the perfect book right there for me. I swear to God. And so those are things to take at hand. And I always, it's like when I start reading a book, it would just be like this was exactly what I needed at this point in time. So, learning to, have that trust, once you raise up your consciousness and, really get a lot of that other junk out, that you can, trust your journey, trust the things that are, coming across your path as guiding you. And yeah, sometimes it is guiding you to overcome something of that consciousness that you need to overcome. But sometimes it's going to be that thing that comes in to help you grow and evolve and move forward as well. And so we all have to take that personal responsibility for it and, stop playing the blame game, that we have to take that ownership and responsibility over our own reality, of our own life, of our own thoughts, and of our own emotions and the things we're saying. I mean, there's a thing that says that, hey, you know what? If you're not controlling your emotions, you're letting others control you. And so, and that's where it comes in at. You know, they will show up to trigger you again and again and again. And we just have to take that personal responsibility and ownership over ourselves and to heal those soul fragments that, we have had contact with and connection with and that we've created ourselves. And that's the truth, even like judgmental issues, and so really coming down to having that love for others and the free will that, everyone has the free will to live how they want to. And that's the truth. And so if they got something attached to them, that's on them, it's on them to deal with it. And if I keep my vibration and frequency up, they're not going to affect me. And so that's the best thing we can do is protect ourselves. And that's the truth. So, but we're here for this change. We're here to raise up our frequency and take our power back, take that ownership back over our own lives and realities and our world, because we have it within us. If we could create a big mess of things, imagine what we can create. We are the creators of it, and we can have that heaven on earth. It begins within us. And we all have the power to do such a thing within our own selves and our lives. And just like that negative stuff has a ripple effect, so does the positive. And so balance out the scales a little bit. And that's what we came here to do, and we can do it. And so I'm grateful for just learning and growing and evolving and doing my inner work and truly taking that one step at a time. When you got 1,000 steps to take, all you got to do is take one and then keep on going. So I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for anyone who is listening and learning and growing and evolving and just taking what they can on their path and their journey to do such a thing. And if you want any help with healing, with whatever you need help, you think that I could help you with, you can go ahead and reach out to me, and I would be happy to do such a thing. I will leave my links and my email in the bio. So enjoy your life, enjoy what you're creating, and have that fulfillment and have that happiness, and it's all within you. So I'm going to play this song called Born to Rule. I felt it was a pretty good one for this one. That I was born to rule over myself and take that ownership. And so, love you.
Most people don't realize this, but we're not all living in the same reality. We're all walking this earth, but we're living in different dimensions. When you're in the lower dimensions, you believe in a God outside of you. You say things like, "Thank you, Jesus," and "Thank you, God," up there. And that's okay, because that's the level you're at. It's part of the journey. But when you go through a Kundalini awakening, when your spirit truly begins to rise, something shifts. You don't just believe in Christ, you become aware of the Christ within you. You stop thanking something outside of you, and you begin to awaken to the power that was always inside you. Christ consciousness isn't about religion. It's a frequency, a higher awareness. It's when you realize God lives in you. You see, people argue because they live in different dimensions, and they don't understand each other. Some still live in the 3D where everything is fear, control, separation. You're over here trying to speak light, truth, oneness, and they look at you like you're crazy. That's because you're not speaking the same language of consciousness. When you awaken, you rise. You begin to see the world through God's eyes, not man's. And that's why we say not everyone will get you. Not everyone is supposed to, because not everyone has risen yet. But your job is not to prove it, your job is to live it. Let your vibration speak louder than your voice. Thank you for following us at Awakening the Empaths, where truth is spoken without fear.
Witnessing the rise of a titan, and time is arriving. This is how it feels when the God's in alignment. Lost to the purpose and blind to my assignment. I crawled to the surface from gutters I should have died in. Deep pain, I'm covered in scars you could dive in. Reborn, something kept me on, letting life in. I cannot explain this breath that's in my lungs. My destiny set in stone, so death can never come. Long live the king, down but never done. It'll be 1,000 years for you crown a better one. I was born to rule, let the rain commence. No escaping this. I was chosen, I was made for this. Now king me. This is in the blood, I'ma let it run free. I was born to rule, I'ma be me. Anybody try to rise and defeat me, I shut them down easy. King me. This is in the blood, I'ma let it run free. This is destiny, time to be me. Anybody try to rise and defeat me, I shut them down easy. King me. Never needed rings stacked to my fingertips, or the diamonds and the gold hanging from my wrist. Let the soul that's inside me define me. I turn rocky roads to rose petals behind me. Plotting on the throne, these traitors wanna defy me. Jealous cause we own, so naysayers deny me. But the squad that's beside me keeps me traveling wisely. Riders protecting the legacy that survives me, yeah. I was bonded, the gods pre-designed it. Everlasting pride was the prize for the grinding. I fell down an ordinary man, I was lifeless. Now I'm about to rise as your highness. This is in the blood, I'ma let it run free. I was born to rule, I'ma be me. Anybody try to rise and defeat me, I shut them down easy. King me. This is in the blood, I'ma let it run free. This is destiny, time to be me. Anybody try to rise and defeat me, I shut them down easy. King me. I was born to rule. I was born to rule. was born to rule. King me. I was born to rule. King me.
You ain't got a chance. Trying to go to war with the champ. Trying to go back, but you can't. Now it's only one king, I'm the man. Anybody wanna step to the plate? Better go and get one thing straight. I don't freeze and I won't hesitate. Matter of fact, y'all been running in place, can't run from your fate. Who's gonna stop me? 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 Yeah, who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? So electrical, charged up, shocking every second like a billion volts. Now we hyperactive, you don't want no static. I was born for battle, finger on the pulse. Y'all paper plastic while I go Jurassic. So far from average, running with the raptors like a slay Goliath, steady moving silence. So in other words, I am the boss. Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? I am the boss. Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? Yeah, who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? I just look at the world, such a sight to behold. Most of the stories will never get told. Been on my own for so long, I don't know what else to do, pray I don't lose my soul. Walking through fire till I'm numb to the coast. Coming for everything, diamonds and gold. Nothing to lose, all in my control. And I'm about to go savage, so don't say I won't. And I'm destined for greatness. Ain't no fabrication, ain't no time for waiting. Super fundamental, I can see them hating. Ain't a scrimmage, steady winning. I ain't quitting from the start to finish. Been in motion, this is physics. Never slowing, never getting winded. I ain't quitting from the start to finish. And I got a one to really find slipping in. Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me?